All right, peace and black power, everybody. Want to welcome you to another episode of NCRBGZ Productions. With that being said, man, I thank y'all for taking the time to be here. Remember, like the video, share the video, leave a comment. Kind of like a sober moment. Really not feeling good because of the news that just came out, family. But we're gonna push forward, right? So I thank y'all, for just being here, man. And I have a brother up here. You want to say something to the family, man? Um,
Yep. Peace, family. This is Master U. Just here showing support and love. I haven't been on one of these lives in a minute, so this here showing my support. I'm here to get, to kind of listen on and see what the brother Heru has got to discuss tonight.
yeah, I thank you, brother, for being here, man. But little sober moment, man, because earlier today, the police officer Derek Chauvin, the one who was we all seen the infamous video where he had his neck on George Floyd's neck, where he has been released today on bail. I think he was on a $1 million bond, and he got the $100,000, and they released him today on bail. So and the worst thing about it is we have to relive this all over again. That 8 minutes, and I forgot exactly how many seconds that he had his heel on his neck. But now by him being released on bail, we have to relive it all over again, man. And it's like, when are we going to get a win? So let me read this a little bit, right? It said, a former Minneapolis police officer is waiting trial on the murder and manslaughter charges after video captured him kneeling on Mr. Floyd's neck and neck. Right? We all know what happened, right? So for months, protesters trained their anger at Derek Chauvin, a former Minneapolis police officer who was shown on video holding his knee on the neck of George Floyd before his death. They demonstrated outside of his house, posted his mugshot across the internet, and chanted outside his first in-person court appearance last month. Throughout almost all of this, Mr. Chauvin has been behind bars, awaiting trial for murder and manslaughter, Mr. Floyd's death. But on Wednesday, Mr. Chauvin was freed after posting $100,000 through a bail bond agency. Hours later, Governor Tim Walz of Minneapolis announced that he was mobilizing 100 members of the Minneapolis National Guard out of an abundance of caution at the request of leaders in Minneapolis who was upended by nights of protest immediately after the killing of Mr. Floyd. It was uncertain where Mr. Chavez will live or how he will be received, but he is returning to an outside world that has been significantly reshaped by the killing of Mr. Floyd's death. United protests across the globe and led to an increased focus on race and police brutality. Right? I'm not surprised by this, and this is the worst thing about it, family, that we so used to taking L's. We so used to taking L's whenever it comes to this police brutality that this was expected, right? Because this is the judicial system. You're innocent to proven guilty, unless you're a black man, or unless you are anyone that kills a police officer. Or you're guilty automatically then. But we see this happen time and time again, and it's part of the system. So what about no bail? What about no bond? We all witnessed this. We all saw this. So why was a bond even granted? What is the purpose when we all have seen this with our own eyes? And then as African Americans, we have to keep reliving this. When are we going to get a win, family? When are they just going to give us a win and say, you know what, they deserve this one? They've been rigging the system. They rigged the system to do what they want to do anyway. When are we going to get a win? Right? Stuff like this is sad because it keep happening. We know it's going to happen. And here we go. Let's look at it. Let's keep going. Let's read a little bit more. It says, as part of his condition of his release, Mr. Chauvin will be required to stay in Minneapolis until his trial scheduled for March, but the Minneapolis home he owned and his wife, who has filed for divorce, was sold for $279,000 in late August. Property records show he also agreed to surrender any guns he may have, not take any job in law enforcement, wow, and avoid any contact with Mr. Floyd's family. Family, can y'all come to Anointed Hands? My Shopify. Write a comment. What do y'all think about this? You know, what is your thoughts on this? And where can we go from this, right? We know that this is his right, you know, but yo, like what else? It just comes to a point wherein no matter what, and see, this is why I said that the NBA and the NFL was meant to keep us distracted. It's just like Rome, family. They are modern day gladiators. And the modern day gladiators' jobs is to keep us complacent. So with the NBA back full throttle, NFL full throttle, the protesting and the energy is not the same as it was. So you can slide this in now. You know, they've been raising money for them all along. So you can slide this in now, right? Because they're trying to make everything go back to normal without changing anything. And it just gets to a point wherein we have to say enough is enough. We don't want your basketball. We don't want your NFL. We don't want no sports. We don't want no baseball. Anyway, the damn stadiums is empty. So now you got virtual fans, people paying to be there virtually. Listen, y'all, we don't want that. We want justice. That's what we want. And anything short of that is unacceptable. And we cannot keep allowing to let stuff like this happen, because to the psyche of our children, what do they see? What is our babies seeing when they see this stuff? They saw this case on TV. They seeing it being, even his funerals all on TV, is everywhere. Our children is seeing this, and now they seeing that the police officers, hold up, he out on bond? And we got family members still locked up that ain't got out on bond. Some of them don't even get bond. It's like, yo, it's like, like, yo, like, you know, it just gets to a point, family, wherein, look at that eye of that killer. That's the eye of a monster, family. No cookie monster. Real life monster. Right here. Look at him. Right, so, you know, family, I want y'all to come here, man, leave a comment. Leave your email, message, what you think about this, family. You know, I done said enough, man, and you know, that could have been anybody. That could have been any of us. But you know, this is the world we live in. This is the system we under. And you know, we have to start holding these people accountable, man, that are elected or that are in charge. Just like we got to start holding the people in our neighborhoods accountable also. Oh yeah, we gotta clean our own streets up too, though. But this right here, it's a dagger, man. I feel sorry for their family that they have to relive all this over again. And know that the killer's out walking free and just waiting to go to trial. And we know when you out on bond compared to when you behind them walls, there's a big difference when that trial comes, when you've been out. There's a big difference, man. When you behind them bars, it's a little bit harder. But when you out, big difference, man. Do you want to say anything before I go to the next subject?
No, brother, I'm just sitting here listening, man. Listen till you go in, bro. If I'm, I'll let you know if I am. I'm just sitting
Okay.
here listening, man.
Yeah.
Keep going on.
Yeah. Don't want to say too much, family. But enough is enough, family, and you know, we have to, you know, we have to, we have to own who we are, man. We have to own this, family, and I think um earlier today I'm gonna post a video actually later on of brother Tony Riddick when he's at the gospel station today, and the name of his lecture that he had is "Why Are You Still Waiting on Jesus?" That was the name of his lecture at the gospel radio station today. Is "Why Are You Still Waiting on Jesus?" And the purpose of that lecture was to say that we are God. We don't have to wait on nothing outside of us. What are we waiting on? Why are you waiting for a so-called sky to crack and somebody to come to save you when you are already your savior? That was the purpose of that lecture today. But like I told the brother when he was giving it, people don't want that responsibility. So that's why people will not acknowledge that they are God, because they don't want that responsibility of carrying themselves as a God. Because when you know that you got certain things you will not allow to happen, people don't want that responsibility. You don't want that responsibility because you want to put it off on somebody else. You want to wait for the sweet by and by. And that's what it is. And that goes to why this police officer is able to get out on bond. Because if all of us knew who we were as God, they wouldn't dare let him out. Because they would know that things is not going to be like this. They would know it, but we don't want that responsibility. But I hope y'all check that lecture out today that I'm going to post with Brother Tony talking about why you still waiting on Jesus. Because it goes hard hand in hand with why we keep going through what we're going through. Because everybody looking for a mythology, something outside of themselves. They're looking for help, not understanding that the help is in you. Everything you need is within. You just got to manifest it, family. That's the truth, right? So let me move on to this next subject, y'all. Yeah, let me move on, man. Now, this is something that happened in 2018, family, and it's just starting to come to the light. This black man was mauled to death by a police K-9 dog in his mother's house. Black man going to his mother's home. Somebody called the police and said it's a burglary. The police officers come and they allow their dog to rip this man to pieces in front of his mother. Now, obviously, his mother's gonna, if you come in your mother's house, before I even read this, just if you come in your mother's house and the police officers get there, once your mother get up, she goes, "That's my son." What are you? Your mother gonna be like, "That's my baby. What are y'all doing?" Knowing his mother was pleading for them to get off. But let's read, man. The brother name was Joseph Bettaway, was bitten to death by a police K-9 dog at his mother's home, right? Torn to pieces. Police let K-9 dog maul innocent black man to death, leaving his flesh all on the ground after false burglary call. Police in Alabama let their dog maul a black man to death after mistaking him for an intruder at his own mother's house. The details of the man's 2018 death are finally being revealed after his family successfully subpoenaed body cam footage of the incident. So the family is trying to get the body cam footage out because they have footage of it. Let's see why they don't want the footage to come out. Joseph Lee Bettaway, 51, was killed in Montgomery after a neighbor called police as he was headed into his mother's home, thinking the man was a burglar. Bettaway was attacked by a police dog, according to an account from his sister, Vonna Bettaway Fraser, and was left bleeding on the pavement. I saw with my own eyes, Bettaway Fraser said. His flesh was all on the ground that morning. The cops who responded to the call, including the K-9 handler, didn't make any moves to administer care or help the injured man in any way, according to Bettaway Fraser's account. Despite Mr. Bettaway's obvious and profuse bleeding and his apparently going into shock, no policeman examines or evaluates his wounds, and no policeman administered any of the basic, essential, obvious, and immediately required care to stem or reduce his bleeding. Legal documents said, according to Metro. The documents also allege that multiple officers stood around without helping Bettaway, and no one even took photos, and one even took photos with a cell phone. Before the family successfully subpoenaed footage of the attack, the Montgomery Police Department refused to confirm that it existed. You hear that? Before the family successfully subpoenaed footage of the account, the Montgomery Police Department refused to confirm that it existed. They didn't even want to confirm that they had footage. The family initially filed a lawsuit against the city and the police department in 2019. Bettaway, an 87-year-old mother, Bettaway's 87-year-old mother, Lisa Mae Bettaway, and the rest of the family are still fighting to get justice for him and to have the police body cam footage released publicly. They stood up there and let the dog kill him, Lizzie Mae said. They need to pay for what they did. Family, I don't really know. Sometimes you be lost for words with some of the stuff that's going on, right? And how can someone going into their mother's house get killed by a dog? For one, that dog getting up off me. For one, it's not going to be that I was killed by a Maul, by a police dog. It's going to be, unless I'm handcuffed. I better be handcuffed. Because the police would have had to shot me or tase me. Because that dog was going to get it. You're going to get the fuck up off me. Best believe that. But again, it goes to, what are we waiting for? Who are you waiting for? Do you understand that you are God having a human experience? Do you understand that? Yo, and then the police officers watch this. Don't administer no help, no aid, nothing. One of them even takes their camera and takes a picture of it. But yet, these are the people that's here to protect and serve. These are who we call when we in trouble. when we scared for our lives, when we terrified, when we feel like we need help, these are the people that we call. We call them. And this is the treatment. And this is what we get when we call them. They have the audacity to feel like they can do stuff like this and get away. Right? So this is another article on Anointed Hands family. You come here, you write a comment, you know, push your email, you get added to the email list, and we'll talk about it, family. You know, some of this stuff, man. Let me stop sharing my screen. It's like, yo, what's next, man? What is next? Like, what else can you do to us? Right? What else? How much more can we take? Like, you know, this is what they used to do back in the 60s when we were marching for civil rights, right? This is what they used to do when the slaves would run. They would get the hound dogs, right? And the hound dogs will hunt you down, right? This is the same stuff that they have been doing. And they continually to do it. But the question is, what are we going to do about it? That's the question, man. Are we just going to, hey, just let it keep? I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, family. With that being said, we try to keep our spirit good, man. Try to keep your spirit high. But certain, like we humans, even still. So the earthly and the fleshly emotions of us, sometimes, they get the best of us. And stuff like this is to the point wherein, you be lost for words because you don't want to say really what you want to say. Because we like enemies behind, we captured behind enemy lines, man. And we in a game, we playing a game that's rigged. So the rules are rigged. But even in this rigged game that we playing, we still finding ways to wiggle our way through. But that's all we're doing. We're surviving. We're trying to survive. But we're surviving, but we're not running the game, family. We're running for our lives. And it gets to a point wherein, is this what you want? Is this the life you want to live? Is this what you want your children to see? Is this what we want our next generation to see? Right? Is we comfortable? We happy? We satisfied? Brody, you want to say anything? Because I'm gonna get right and wind down, man. Sometimes this stuff it gets the best of you, man.
Yeah, sometimes the stuff get the best of you, man. I've noticed this for me and myself. I took a break from social media, man, because like every time you turn around, it was like something going on, negative, happening to us. So always something negative, man. And I just found myself, low key kind of being a little bit stressed out about it. Every time I turn around, I see something. And that stuff can trigger a lot of emotions, man. So, and not saying that you shouldn't feel that way, but if your body is always in a constant state of stress, man, excuse me, it never leads to anything healthy at all. But you're right, man. That stuff it weighs down on you. And if you are a black man and a black woman, you constantly see people getting, murdered and all this stuff on TV, man. That's not a good look, and it's not a good feeling, and it's really not much anybody, who is non-black, no disrespect, that can say anything to you, because the thing is not necessarily happening to them. And I'm not saying other people are not getting plighted or things are not happening to them. That's not what I'm saying. But it just seems like there really is this impression when it comes to us, man. And letting a dog, bite this dude because when he go see his mama like that, that stuff to me is crazy, man. It really is. And for me, there's always a question that I always have that no one ever can answer. And it is, why does the world hate black people so much? What did we ever do to anybody? You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about, black people got ghettos, and people talking, black people this, black people. No. Before all that stuff happened, before all that, what did we do to make people hate us so much? What did we do to make even black people don't even like black people? What did we do to cause so much enmity and hate to where someone does not like us? What did we do? You know what I'm saying? We were slaves. We made people rich. You know what I'm saying? Say, hey, look, y'all come to Africa. Look, it's good. Like, what do we do? What do we do? And to be honest, man, I never seem to get an answer for that question, because no one can answer it. Why do you have such a deep-seated hatred for me because I'm black? Now, if you're black, I can understand why you hate somebody else, because you've been raped and maimed and pillaged for how many years? For how many decades? For how many centuries? I can understand that. But what did I ever do to cause you to hate? What did I do? I mean, I'm not and I'm not asking this from a position of anger. This is just a logical question that I just have. If you and somebody is beefing, but you beefing for no reason, then it's like, why are we beefing for them? You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I even asked the question to you. Why are we hated by the world? You know what I'm saying? Painted as villains, and we dumb, we stupid, we don't know nothing. But if you go through history, man, look, all these inventions, all these wonderful things that we done, it's like the narrative don't fit. So where's all this hate coming from?
It's because
do you think I'm better than you? I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, where is all the hate coming? Where is it coming from?
You hit it on the head, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You just hit it on the head. They already know we're superior. They know it. Problem is, we don't know it. They know it, man. And they also know, they say that the conquerors write the story, write history, right? So that's why the story is written the way it's written, because who won? But even in our defeat, we still great. And that's the thing that they know. See, they know how powerful we are. They know who we are. We don't know who we are. And that's the problem. You hate what you ain't. You hate what you can't. See, they know what we can do, especially if we get back to our righteous, indigenous, get back in tune with nature the way we was at one time. They know that we will transform and transcend everything around us all over again, because we were the creators of it all. They know this, man. They look at us and they can tell it. They look at us and they can see that even though we put them through what we put them through, compare us to the Jews. And even though it's really no comparison though, but just look at the difference in how when the Jews got out of their Holocaust, when we got out of our slavery, which is post, because we got out of physical slavery, but then we never got out of the mental slavery, right? And we're just starting to get out of this mental slavery, I would say within the last 10 to 15 years. You had a pocket of us that was breaking them chains. But I feel like on another level, we're getting out of this mental slavery. We're just getting out of it. The Jews didn't have a mental slavery. They just was in bondage, right? But they never had a mental slavery. It was just a bondage for them, right? So they get out, they get all this money. They get all this money. They get all this control, right? We get out, we don't get the money, we don't get the reparations. But now look at the comparisons as far as what we have accomplished and what they have accomplished. Take money out of it. Take the money aspect out of it. We're just talking about pure geniusness, contributions to the world. There's no comparison. There's no comparison to what we have contributed to the success and the maintaining and the advancement of humankind compared to what they have added since they got out of their bondage. It's no comparison. And that's the problem. Even though we still go through what we go through, we are still pushing this needle forward for humanity. And if you really be honest, they got the buttons on destruction of humanity. If you really want to get technical about it, they know it. Everybody know it. We just don't know it, man. And I'm at the point now where it's not that we don't know it, we don't want to own it. Because we want to wait for the sweet by and by. We want to wait for the clouds to crack and somebody to come down. We want to wait for Jesus, right? We want to wait for Muhammad. We want to wait instead of becoming the guys who we are. Because we don't want that responsibility. It's too much responsibility when you understand it and you own it. It's too much responsibility. Because you're willing to die. Because you understand that this is just a temporary stop. The train don't end here. You understand that. This train don't end here. And it's getting to the point where, shit, I don't want to be here. Let me stop, man. Let me be quiet, man. Let me be quiet, bro. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, yo, they know we don't want to own it. And it's time for us to own it, man. It's time for people to start owning who you are. Because if you don't own it, you got other people that want to take your spot. And, they try. But we got to own it, man. And once we own it, everything going to change. Because we'll get to the point where we start moving stuff. You know what I'm saying? According to the Bible, we got dominion over everything. So you think we're able to make it rain when we want it to rain? You think we're able to make it storm when we needed to storm? Why do you think the Indians were doing them Indian dances? The vibrations. We get back on the vibrations, we can cause hurricanes. We can cause tornadoes. We can cause straight up destruction. If we get back on that wave, keep thinking we can't. And I'm going to give you a good example, and then I'm going to end this. I'm going to give you an example. Now, maybe it don't happen with you, but it happened with me. Sometimes, like, if I hear water running, and I've been holding I got to use the bathroom, I've been holding my piss, it's like, if that water run, I got to go. I can't hold it no longer. It's like certain things, as far as with water running, that's one with me. Water running, or it's raining hard, and I've been holding my pee and it's stuff, I can't hold it no longer. I have to go. And psychologically, that's something as far as the water falling or water running and us using the bathroom, as far as me and as far as pissing. It's something that's connected with that, with me, where when the water's running or faucet running, I gotta go. I can't hold it. And as long as the water ain't running, I'm good. But as soon as that water start running, I have to let it go, man. And maybe one day I'll talk about that on a whole nother level. But with that being said, man, I thank y'all for taking the time out to watch this, man. You know, family, own who you are. Don't be afraid to walk into your greatness. Don't be afraid. Don't let no religious dogma or nothing that you have been passed down from generation to generation stop you from becoming the gods who we are. Walk into your greatness. Step into that greatness, man. Take that torch. Own it. Live it. Express it, man. Don't run from it. Reach for it and grab it, family. And that's what it's time for us to do. The scriptures is not meant for us just to read no more. It's time for us to make our own scriptures. It's time for us to write our own books. It's time for us to make our own paths, man. Become the guys who you are. And with that being said, man, peace, family. I'll catch y'all on the next show. Like the video, share the video. Peace.